Hello and welcome to the Yosemite server backup video tutorial series. In this video we're going to create our first manual run backup job. And this video is geared towards the backup admin or domain admin who's inherited responsibility for their backup domain and doesn't really know if there's been a backup strategy in place, or worse, knows that there hasn't. If this sounds like the situation you're finding yourself in currently, don't worry. That's what this video is for. We're going to walk through quickly getting a manual backup job scheduled and running so you can take a deep breath, step back, and figure out what you want your long-term data protection strategy to look like. So to begin, we're going to open the Yosemite Server Backup Administrator, and from the tasks page here, we'll select the backup object, and we'll name our backup job. And you can see once we name that job and select OK, we're passed on to the properties of our manual backup. And the first page we're on here is our selection page. What we need to do on this page is select what we want to back up. We can go down and do granular selections if that's what we want to do. Say we want to back up system state and the file systems on Map PC, and then we want to back up the user directory and bin and etc on our Red Hat box. We can go ahead and do that very simply. Further, if we want to get more granular than that and we want to come in and back up just specific objects, we come in here and we want to go to mat and then desktop. We can be as granular or universal in our selection as we want with the selection list here. For this case, as we laid it out initially, we wanted to just quickly get a manual backup job done of all of the machines in our backup domain. The quickest way to do that is just to click the box for network. That will select every file and folder on all of the machines in the backup domain. So we have our selection done at this point. Now we're going to go forward to the device tab and select the backup device that we want to use. So in a previous video, we'd created our virtual library device. You can see our virtual tape device here. If we drill down there, you'll see both of our two drives configured in our 2-drive 24-slot virtual library device. If you want to brush up on this, you can go back in the series and look at the creating a virtual library device video. And now we're going to select our virtual library device as our backup target for this job. So we have our backup selections completed and our backup device selected. We're going to skip encryption for now and jump down to configuration. If we were setting up a scheduled backup job, this is where we would go through and tweak our settings to make the backup schedule conform to our backup strategy. In this case, we're not going to set a scheduled job. This is just a manual run backup. So we're going to go ahead and run with a lot of defaults here. In future videos, we'll cover tweaking all of the different options to make sure you're all comfortable with configuring a backup job that's consistent with your desired backup strategy. For this job, again, this is just a manual job. We just want to get a backup done. So we're going to leave the schedule type here set to not scheduled. We're going to change the backup mode from copy to full. And we're going to change the write mode from append to all media to overwrite all media. We'll get into all of the options covered on this page in a future job. This is just a look, we need to get a backup done right now because we don't have one, and if something goes bad, we don't have a point that we can recover from. So we're going to let it auto format all media. Our new media name is just going to be media, and our new media location is just going to be in the home admin manual backup directory. These are things that Yosemite is going to manage for us. So the way we have this configured, this backup is just going to work. We're writing our first backup to a newly created virtual library device. This is just going to take off and run the backup for us. We're going to hop down one option further here and go into advanced and then options. And we're going to deselect this option to create DR bootable media. In order to create bootable media, we need to actually install WinPE that's appropriate for the OS that we're running. Since we haven't done that at this point, if we leave that option enabled, it'll throw an alert during the backup job. So rather than have that alert post, we're just going to disable that option for the time being. Again, this is something we'll cover in future videos, but now we're all set. We have our backup job configured and ready to go. So we'll go apply and OK. We'll get a pop-up here that says the job you just created resides in your home folder. You can modify, schedule, or run it at a later time. Do you want to go to your home folder now? And we do. We want to go ahead and just kick this job off and get it running. So we'll click on the folders icon here to enable our folder tree view. And if we go to admin, you'll see here's our backup job. If we right click there, we can just select run. It'll say, are you sure you want to run this job? We'll select yes. And now if we click on status, we can go in and see that this job is actually in the process of going here for us. We can display detailed status info, and then we can actually see what exactly the job is doing. So we've succeeded in finishing everything we set out to accomplish in this video. We started from a backup domain that had 2 machines installed and our virtual library device created. We quickly went through and set up a manual run of our backup job just to get a good backup done, so that we can now go back in once this backup completes and set up a scheduled job and mix in incrementals and differentials and pay specific attention to agent inclusions in backup selection lists and minimizing our backup window, managing our media, and we'll cover that in future videos in the tutorial series. Thanks again for watching this video, and please stay tuned for more videos in the Yosemite Server Backup video tutorial series.